I'm walking down the street and somebody want to spit coming in my direction, I change my path most of the time. First, I don't want to walk in the trajectory of your spit-tile little spittles. But why is you even spitting? Because you see me, nothing about me is disgusting. Only people that want to act like that is people who have demons on them, that have unresolved issues, that sit like look at anybody that's happy or glowing and say it's a problem with that person walking with the light of God. And I feel I would rather rain on their parade by being disrespectful to their own personal space. Are you freaking kidding me? These people have no patience with the divine or with life, and that's been illuminated. They'll never be happy no matter what you do because they're imbalanced, self-indulgent, and excessive. They clash with everyone and have a lack of perspective. They have a God complex. They're always in discord. They're always antagonizing people and reckless with their behaviors. Hasty into illuminating who they truly are in the divine realm. Trying to walk around, claim anybody's religion, well, the only thing they are is sacrilegious while they worship the devil on the low. And smile in their parents' face and act like their parents' religion is their religion. What their traditional, what their elders and ancestors practice. They don't put none of that work in from the time they was a child. And now well over 30 and 40, they want to claim a religion that they never came to God. That they spit in God's face and laugh and said that they would abuse anything that's of divine light so you don't get too high and mighty on your high horse reaching for the top of the tree where all the fruit is kissed by the sun. But instead you would take that dry, that rotted, dehydrated, funky fly that's laying all over shit on fruit that's laying on the ground because you already be starving. You would just take anything no matter how dusty it is. Thank God for your earth angel family that's going, not saying thank God they went through it, but even if they have not, they have an understanding about how bums, hobos like this do things. People don't have their life together and be codependent on other family members, feminine or masculine, or friends or whomever, and then blame everybody else for their problem because they're not happy. Oh, well, my grandma raised me, I was this and it was that. But they didn't learn how to cook like grandma. Or if they did, they didn't learn how to clean like grandma. Or if they did, they didn't learn how to be empathetic like grandma and discerning like grandma. They just wanted to complain about what their mother did to grandma so they could grow up and have a reason to abuse women. So they could just keep, it's not always the women. They meet a lot of good women or men. They just want to exploit them because they just need to get what they need out of it. Like with the pomegranate, you spit out the seeds. You don't even know the seeds is good for your health too. They just want what they want. They don't have clear understanding. Excuse me, I gotta drink some tea while I'm giving the tea. Right. They didn't really understand the power of the divine shining through you and how eventually you would just be all done with this shit and you would just be over it because from the start you didn't care what people thought about you in this situation in the first place. If they want to embarrass you and say all these things about you, they didn't realize that you were trying to avoid hurting their ego in the first place because you was embarrassed to say anything even occurred between y'all. I was just a quick, hit it and quit it. It ain't serious, and then we all gonna go our separate ways. We know we friends without benefits because you was in a lower place that you had to heal from. And while that person saw you down and tried to kick you while you down and keep you while you was down, but you got up so fast and said, nah, I'm good on my own. I don't need any more toxic karmic energies because I already learned those karmic lessons. This person wanted to spite you and sick their whole clique on you, all their friends, and get their OG unks together and say, well, this one is really a hoe and a prostitute, but she trying to act like she high and mighty. So let's talk about her and let's spread this wide in many secret communities and meetings so nobody know. Like, it's not good people in the world and everybody is, a deplorable person because this person says so. It's only showing who this person truly is in their heart. How you realigned yourself from that person because you knew their energy was off and there was nothing but trouble. And it kind of helped you heal out of that lower place a lot quicker because there wasn't nothing but conflict, conformation, conflicted with DeySelf, conflicted with life, never going to grow up and be open to change, just stuck being a moron and an asshole to anybody, not realigning, not shifting their perspective for a gained sense of clarity, but just lying their way through life. thinking material was going to buy them anything. Material didn't keep their hair from falling out and their ponytails start thinning, and no matter they keep wearing that hat, whenever they forget to wear it, you can see them tired ass OG unk braids that they need to just cut off their head and accept that they balding instead of talking about another female because they jealous that her hair is long and luscious, because that's how spirit made it, because she didn't put a lot of products in her hair and she didn't pull her hair out with braids. She followed a natural process, or he did. Why would a masculine be jealous of a feminine that they want to have sexual relations with in the first place, unless they're narcissistically ill, which is still possession? It's a mental illness. All them voices they can't control from all the bullshit they want to do. And then try to keep you quiet by sicking goons on you to try to disrupt your sleep so you can't have a healthy life. Not realizing that's what's fueling the battery. The more they do, the more you speak. They don't want to figure out what to do with their life. You know what to do with yours. They sleep. You don't have to be asleep. Unrequited love. It was an illusion. Somebody was trying to escape their lives by having relations with you. Someone with a fragile sense of identity. Sometimes they be on the DL because they be so high and drunk. They don't care who they sticking it in. They just happy they got a dark, moist hole to stick it into. They don't mind hurting the children, young teenagers, right? Not old enough to get sick mentally, physically, or spiritually from this person who's so selfish. Nobody his own age would take the bullshit shenanigans he do. So because he's a perpetual child, he won't grow up, but he would rather taint the younger generations' confirmation moving forward so nobody else can have a chance, because these OG unks don't know when to stand down and teach the fucking kids right. You don't have to have nobody teach you. Life is the best teacher. So you unrequitedly spend energy not on this person with a poor sense of identity that's trying to hide that they sick and that they DL. That they got a few people in their crew sick. And a few people that's recruiting that don't know what they was getting into. Too many pills, too many drinks, too many tainted blunts. They don't want to accept the truth about their blind sense of self. Don't judge me. Don't call judgment on them while they was out here trying to put a death to who you was, while you out here in your flow, purging all that negative energy that no longer serve you. They don't want to accept it. They could talk a lie about you to everybody and want people to believe a lie, but you speak one truth that everybody could go, you know what, that's the missing piece we needed. Now we see why they acting like that and why they hiding that. Yeah, Shorty Hood stood and he stood in there 10 toes down energy and held that down, and they wasn't out here trying to exploit nobody, but this person keep trying to attack somebody that ain't thinking about them, don't want them, not swinging a block on them, block them out on every situation, even especially energetically, astral, telepathically, whatever. They a liar and never even stated who they was, and they knew they were playing in dark arts and played with you like that was not what they was doing, while they sick a bunch of people that also played in dark arts to try to keep you stuck so they could drain you like a battery, because this person didn't want to grow up, and they lied on their phallus, and they lied on your yoni if you're feminine, and then try to act like you was the problem and you was loose with your body when they was the community sex pot. Leviathan spirit possessed. Don't want to accept what? Oh, things don't happen in divine timing, the God complex. Think they could change anything that's written on this Queen of Cups life. She not divine. I'll prove it to you she's lying. And the fact that you cut them off prove that they are indeed the liar. And it's been over a year to about this date sometime, right? You came 2 years. In my situation, I came back in 2023 from surviving something, but I was still lost and low. And before I really fully purged, I said, well, it's been a minute. This person knew me for over 20 years in this neighborhood, and I gave them a chance to be my friend and act different, because in body they look like a person, you know, a grown person. But once they start drinking, you realize all the pain. So you start distancing yourself. This person trying to spy on you. You don't know if they planted cameras in your house or microphones that now you could reflect on it. This was 2 years ago. But everything been topsy-turvy. And that person always tried so hard to get back in, but you never wanted them in. They stop you from working and focusing. And then they want to play fight when you say you don't play fight. And then they put their hands on you and squeezing you so hard, bear hugging you, and you saying, I don't want to play like this. So you decided to cut that person off. They're too immature. Don't put your hands on me. It's disrespectful, and I don't play like that. It's simple. It's not hard. Queen of Cups is a nurturer that's healing from something that she went through that nobody knows what she went through the trials of time and circulatory cycles to get rid of negative energies that always want to try to get in her cup to throw her off her balance, because even if their emotions is off, she's good right where she's standing in the eye of the storm. She good. They don't know how to survive, got to hop bed to bed just to feel like they got somewhere safe to stay, while she good on her own. She don't need phallus to survive. You need more than sex life to live and survive in the world. You need more than somebody to lay in a bed with and have sex with in order to just have a good life in the world. It doesn't make sense to be stuck with somebody miserable because you could get a nut, because after 3 minutes of that, what you got? Then you got a lifetime of hate trying to control somebody that you can't control because the only thing you have to control was yourself instead of trying to get a nut. You could have waited and seen that wasn't the place to dump your seed, and then you making kids with these people? But you mad at the Queen of Cups for closing up her temple?